This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure. And this is my perspective, and I am back with yet another article where a Black mother is killing her child. This is becoming sort of a disturbing trend. It seems like I'm doing a story like this once a week or once every couple of weeks. But when I find them, I have to report on them because they're starting to have certain things in common, some of them. And if we don't talk about it, then we can't do anything about it. So let me go ahead and not waste too much time. Let me go ahead and share this article. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to be back with my perspective. Okay, Phoenix mom used combination of drugs to murder two young daughters who she believed had COVID. This is the demon again, right here. A woman in Phoenix was arrested this week after police say she killed her two young daughters by forcing them to overdose on medication. Retta Renee Cruz, 35, was taken into custody Tuesday on two charges of first-degree murder in connection with the deaths of her daughters, Royal McIntyre, 4, and Aaliyah McIntyre, 9. Sergeant Andy Williams of Phoenix Police Department said the father of the children called 911 at approximately 6 p.m. on September the 8th. The father reported finding both the girls dead in a bedroom in their apartment in the area of 13th Street and Mountain View Road. First responders said neither of the girls presented any sign of trauma. The girls were found on one bed facing each other with arms around each other as though they had been placed in this position, police wrote in the probable cause for arrest affidavit. Both girls were pronounced dead at the scene. Cruz was also still in the residence when police arrived. Court documents obtained by ABC affiliate KNXV-TV said that the defendant had barricaded herself in her bedroom and was suffering from what police describe as multiple self-inflicted stab wounds. Cruz was detained and rushed to the hospital where she was initially said to be in critical condition. She later recovered and stabilized. Although conclusive results from toxicology tests are still pending, investigators believe Cruz used a combination of over-the-counter and prescription drugs to sedate and ultimately overdose the two girls. Officers searched the apartment and reportedly found acetaminophen, which is a pain reliever, and one bottle of oxycodone. Police said there were visual signs from the victims indicative of an overdose, including at least one prescription pill that was found next to the girls' mouths. Investigators also found a note in the home allegedly signed by Cruz. The note contains what authorities believe was her motive for killing the children. According to television station, the note says both of the children had been severely infected by the C-19. It claims the defendant isolated the girls and gave them medication to help them sleep. While in the hospital, Retta made admissions to hospital staff as to her involvement in taking the life of her oldest daughter and attempting to take her own life. After recovering from injuries, Cruz sat down for an interview with investigators. During the interview, police said Cruz denied any involvement with the girls' deaths and said she had no idea as to how they may have died. She maintained that she did not write the letter recovered from the apartment. Cruz, who officials believe to be mentally disturbed, also allegedly told police that she had been upset about the prospect of losing custody of the children following a recent court hearing concerning her parental rights. A judge set Cruz's bond at $2 million and scheduled a preliminary hearing in her case for September the 23rd. Listen, first of all, the title is misleading. It ain't had nothing to do with no C-19. The real reason why she killed them babies showed up at the end of the article. What tripped me out about the situation is you managed to kill them babies, you demon. You managed to kill them babies. But regardless of the multiple self-inflicted stab wounds, you somehow miraculously survived your own hand. They didn't survive your hand, but you survived your hand. So what was you stabbing yourself in the toenail? Boop. Really? So you barricade yourself in the room with multiple stab wounds, yet you lived while these two little babies died at your hands. That trips me out, how they can kill other people, but when they go crazy and try to kill themselves, somehow they don't ever make it. Somehow they miraculously pull through. You know, if you gonna commit a homicide, suicide, why the suicide part don't ever go through? And if you suicidal, why you taking other folks with you? Listen. Then at first she admits to the murders with hospital staff when she gets in the hospital to treat her wounds. She gets to get saved. She gets to get emergency care given to her. But who was there to save them babies from her? Nobody was there to save them babies. Then after she come to herself, which is what happened, after she snapped out of it and came to herself and got in front of them police officers where they was asking her all kind of questions about what was going on in that house and what she did to them babies and what was that letter all about and all of that type of stuff. Now all of a sudden she don't know what's going on. She didn't write the letter. She ain't had nothing to do with the babies. She don't know how they died. You mean to tell me you sitting up with the babies all day and you don't know how they died? You don't know how they got in that position in the bed, hugging each other? You didn't put them there. You didn't write that letter that they found talking about why you killed them. So who did it then? The boogeyman? Who did it then? Pennywise? It did it? This is what kills me. They always go to the mental health issue, but you'll never be too crazy to admit to it. She wasn't too crazy to try to deny it. She ain't that crazy. She wasn't too crazy to miss all of the lethal places she could have stabbed herself, could have slit your own throat, could have blew your brains out. Wasn't that crazy? She was sane enough to stab herself in some real interesting places to stay alive. She was sane enough that when she came to and realized, wait a minute, I done killed them kids, and now I got to try to answer for why them babies is dead to them boys. I got the answer to the police now, to the law now, which is the only authority that these hyenas recognize in the first place. Now she got sense enough to try to deny all and disavow all knowledge of anything that she had to do with them babies. So you ain't that dang on crazy then. You ain't that crazy. You crazy like a fox. You crazy just enough to try to get out of the sentence. You want to be crazy just enough for them to send you maybe to a mental hospital or something like that, or let you off on some type of insanity plea. And if it really is mental health issues, why don't none of these hyenas address their issues? That's another thing that we never talk about in the so-called Black community. We don't never talk about these chicks and them actually being crazy then. Because when you point out that, you know, you off your rocker, okay, you crazy as a bat in the belfry, now they don't want to talk about it. Who you talking? Who you calling crazy? You. I'm calling you crazy. You out your mind. You done lost your mind. I see all that crazy stuff you be doing and all that crazy stuff you be talking. You don't make no sense when you talk. And the stuff you do don't make no dang on sense either. And when somebody pointed out and say, wait a minute, what's going on with you? Now they want to, deny that there's anything wrong. How's anybody supposed to deal with the issue if you deny having an issue in the first place? But see, this is why I don't buy them whole mental health. I'm so crazy. You wasn't that crazy. You trying to get rid of them kids so that anything to keep that man from having them. The real issue showed up at the end. It was a custody issue. Apparently, the father was fighting for the custody of the babies, and you were being proved unworthy, unfit for motherhood. This is why she got nervous about it. And see, I want people listening to me to understand something. This goes beyond a child support check and all of that other type of stuff. This is a demonic way to continue to destroy the Black family. This is more so about the ownership of property. Remember, I told you that these Black women think their children are slaves. They own them like they own their car, like they own a pair of shoes, like they own a pair of jeans. And before I be mandated to give you over my things, I'd rather destroy them. If I destroy them, then you can't have them either. That, again, that's classic psychosis. If I can't have you, no one else can. That's a psycho. And that is what these Black women think with them when they children, when it comes up for custody battle. So apparently this is a case where the father is seeing something wrong and saying, you know what, let me go through the legal system to get my babies. Let me go get my babies. And when he put her through the legal system to go and get his babies, because apparently he was not ignoring whatever red flags he saw, she said, you know what, I got something for him. I'll get rid of them rather than give them to him. I will destroy this property of mine before I give it away. See, this is about the ownership changing hands. This is what these gynocrats don't want. The power go away. This is not about the checks. This ain't about the child support checks, because a lot of them are not getting a lot of money unless that man make a lot of money. So the check isn't the issue. It's the power that having the child as the custodial parent grants you in family court systems. I get to play with this man's life. I get to, you know what I'm saying, just go in and out of the court. I can demand or try to petition for more money out of the child support. Just anything to make his life more difficult with this baby or with these children. Then it has to be, I can try to control situations. I can use them as pawns in my game. If he tries to get custody from them and it looked like he might actually win that battle and she's going to lose the power in that situation, these hyenas is resorting to killing these kids off. They resorting to killing them. This is not the first Black woman to kill her kids in the midst of a custody dispute. There have been other Black women who, this was years ago, probably 2015 or something I'm thinking about. I forgot her name, but she chopped them kids up, put them in the freezer. You understand me? They had to find them kids in a deep freezer in her house. The father kept trying to come by. Family members kept on trying to see these kids. And she act like she didn't know what they was talking about. She wouldn't answer the phone. She wouldn't answer the door. You know what I'm saying? They would try to call the police on well check. Finally, they had the police make her open the door so they could search. And when they searched her apartment and looked all over the place, couldn't find them kids, and they started looking at really everywhere and opened the deep freezer and found them babies' body parts in there. She had done killed them. Talking about she didn't want the father to have them. This is the length that these hyenas, these demons, will go to keep the Black family apart, to keep these children away from their father. So don't let them gaslight you on social media talking about how these men just don't want to be fathers. Because when these men come in and say, you know what, is something going on with you? I think you might be a danger to yourself or my kids. I don't really got nothing to do with you, but them kids is mine. Let me go get mine out of the danger zone, and you will kill them. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? When you have a woman that would rather off them kids than give them to you. What does anybody do with that? These are the hard discussions and hard questions we need to be having instead of trying to sweep it under the rug and hide behind talking points. Because these babies' lives ain't no talking point. So sound off in the comment section for me. Let me know what you think about this situation. Is this a growing trend when it comes to custody? Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.